if you were to ask me where does censorship comes from in society, which is the root of all evil, I would say it's definitely universities. Especially American universities. I mean, they're the ones that started with all the nonsense of safe spaces and words are violence, and you shouldn't offend people because if you do, even though it's legal, you become unemployable. And they're the ones that encourage companies to do better and to make absolutely sure that anyone that is offensive in public gets punished. So to see those students getting punished for once is a little bit cathartic, I'm not going to lie. Especially when they are doing things and expressing certain ideas that are concerning. For instance, a couple of days ago, there were viral videos on Twitter that showed some of the worst atrocities that I have seen this year. I'm not saying that somewhere in the world there may not be atrocities that are worse than those, but I haven't seen them, so I can only talk about my personal lived experience. For instance, seeing the elderly getting shot, women being taken away and dragged away against their will, corpses of people being paraded on the streets, like that type of stuff. It is harrowing. Not gonna lie, I don't care to whom it happens. But as a human being, or as the left likes to put it, as a decent human being, I do not like seeing that stuff, right? It's, ugh. But there were activists, decent individuals from the respectable corners of the internet that were calling it decolonization. And they were justifying it. Like, despite the fact that I made the video where I said, you can conduct combat operations without dragging the corpses of the innocent on the street, those people disagreed with my take. They were like, no. That's decolonization. It's a good thing. I think that crossed the line. Okay, again, it's not about whom it happened to or why it happened. I genuinely think there is a Rubicon. You know how the left thinks that under no circumstance you should misgender someone? I also think that under no circumstance should we glorify war crimes. I know, maybe my take is not very popular. I understand that maybe it's not being shared by all the people on Twitter. However, as people on Twitter like to say, this is the hill I'm willing to die on. Yes, war crimes are horrible. I do not like to see them. Nor do I want to support the people who do them. Even if they were from my personal army. If the Russians were invading and the Romanian army were conducting those crimes, I would still wish that the soldiers who performed them would be placed under a tribunal. But I guess this is where my morality is now different from the morality of the civilized people at Harvard, who believe that, no, actually, this is part of decolonization. And take into account that Harvard and many other universities, they actually have colonial studies and they want to decolonize other places. So when they say that they want to decolonize the United States, is this what they're talking about? Is it? Is it? Okay. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's just I would like to say that I would not enjoy having these students as my neighbors. I'm not saying this as figurative. No, literally. Right? We here in my neighborhood, we live under a small community of people where I genuinely believe that if my house was on fire, like an electrical hazard or something, that my neighbors would rush in to help. And I would also do the same for my neighbors if they were in any type of dire situation. But if you were to have these Harvard students as your neighbors, would you be able to trust them that if your house is on fire, they will help? It's a little bit of an interesting conundrum. So many people have been definitely abhorred by what they were saying because, again, it's not about supporting Palestine. It's about justifying, and especially doing it in public, the acts that are being shown on Twitter. Now, it's interesting because they will say, well, yeah, but hold on a little bit. These individuals that signed the letter may not justify the acts. And I'm like, well, okay, but if that's the situation, not all Israeli people are justifying what's happening in Palestine. I mean, how do we do it? Do we hashtag all or do we not hashtag all? Do we stereotype or do we not stereotype? Still, It seems that many students, again, like, you're in Harvard. What the fuck do you care unless you want social clout, right? Like, you want to do activism, you want to start stuff. But they were justifying what's happening in Israel. So now you have Bill Ackman, which is a famous person. He is a hedge fund manager and a billionaire, and wants the names of these people so that they won't be employed at his company. I'm curious, like, what arguments does the left have against this? Because from what I understand, you can say whatever you want to say, but there's consequences for what you speak. This isn't cancel culture, it's accountability culture. I mean, I can go through the left lexicon and I can find probably 1,000 phrases that justifies what Bill Ackman is trying to accomplish here. But I don't think I can find a single one that would justify why these students shouldn't be punished for signing these letters. I mean, they literally created the culture that can lead to their censorship. Unironically, like, I don't mind. I mean, people that are activists from Harvard, I've yet to see a single one that is pro-free speech. Like, all they talk about is how they can take my rights away, how they can restrict the things that I can hear, how they can restrict the things that I can say. So when I see that they're the ones that are getting the exact same treatment that they desire upon others, well, what can I say? I mean, Bill Ackman claims that certain CEOs were contacting him when were demanding the list of these students. Okay, I mean, Bill Ackman can't be forced to employ anyone, right? Like, neither do the CEOs. And again, like, I personally would not like to live in a neighborhood where these students make their homes. Probably they wouldn't like me either, because apparently they're very stereotype oriented, and if you happen to have my skin, I'm probably a colonialist, even though Romania has not colonized anyone, even though my ancestors have not colonized anyone. They would just probably look at me, they would eyeball it, the colonial. Not only that, there were other victims in Israel. Tourists, people from Singapore, people from other places that, you get to see on Twitter. And it's like, okay, but what did they do? What did they do? And again, like, I saw videos with people that weren't even Israeli citizens getting tortured and various crimes committed on them. And the left was like, yeah. I mean, this is decolonializing. Like, what did you expect? Did you expect that they would write a thesis or a paper? And the thing is, like, it's not all the left, right? Like, there were people on the left that were calling these individuals out. But the thing is, like, I don't see people on the right doing it. Like, that's what I find absolutely fascinating. It's almost like the closer they are to socialism, the more likely they are to support these atrocities. Did you notice that? If you are on Twitter, you must have noticed. And the reason that I find it interesting is that these atrocities are committed by a theocratic group, right? Like Hamas. And if you want to trigger these socialists, you ask them, what is Hamas's stance and policy on pronouns? Do you know how easy you get blocked if you ask this question? It's like a magic thing. It's the magical phrase. And they immediately block you if you ask them. Especially when you have, like, gays for Palestine. I'm like, okay, what do you think would happen if you actually walk through Palestine with that thing, like, just translate it so that the people around you can understand, and walk through Palestine and show your support? What do you think would happen? I'm starting to think, like, I genuinely, like, do not understand the language that is being spoken in that geographical area, but I did see videos of people from Hamas with their green bandana. They have, like, a green bandana. I don't understand what is being said, but I assume it's the pronouns, right? I mean, maybe it's like they, them, or something, because I can't read it, but, like, maybe someone that understands the language can translate it for me in the comment section. It looks interesting. Those are the people you support? I mean, okay, that's a take. What can I say? Very interesting. It's kind of like chickens for KFC, You can support that. I mean, no one is stopping you. It's just, like, it's a little bizarre. The other thing that I heard is that some people are saying, well, the videos are fake. And I'm like, but they're not presented by the mainstream media. It's not like CNN. Like, if CNN was telling me that, I would be like, okay, well, given CNN's track record, I will press X to doubt. However, no, like the videos that were circulating on Twitter and they were very viral were recorded by Hamas, uploaded by them. I mean, where's the fakeness? Where's the CGI? I don't understand. Like, it's a hard sell, is what I'm saying. Like, if that's what you're trying to push, that the Western imperialist media is fabricated, okay, it's a hard sell. Very hard sell. But anyway, right, let me know what you guys think, and don't forget to check the pinned comment in the comment section, and I'll see you guys there. Take care.